recording. We will be going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. It's currently 8 a.m. like normal. It's 77 degrees outside. It's quite windy out, but like I said, it is warm. Very, very warm. It's going to get very, very warm today. I think we have a high of 92, so be prepared for that hot weather. Be prepared to hydrate and enjoy this summertime weather we've got. And despite the fact it is going to be a little windy, it's still going to be warm. So traffic conditions are pretty fair. They were not fair about 10 minutes ago, but it's cleared up. So if you have left yet, your commute into Tulsa is going to be just fine. So don't worry about that. The upcoming events in Owasso, not a lot going on for the rest of the week still. It's the same old, what we informed you on yesterday. So we're going to jump right in to the news, or the national news today. So something... well, I don't know. Pull up that Tim Pool tweet for me if you can, Chad.
You got it.
So, we've got some interesting times ahead of us, folks. So, the National Defense Authorization Act would require women to register for selective service. So, men are required to register for the selective service. It's, once you turn 18, you have to register for the selective service just in case, you have to be drafted. Well, now they're proposing a National Defense Authorization Act. This act that's going before the Senate. They're going to try to see if they can require women to register for it as well. So, equal rights, equal service, So, this is, I'm sure women are not looking for this. I don't think women being in the service is particularly a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing either. I don't think requiring anyone to serve. You want volunteers. Volunteers means you're going to have a stronger service because the people who are there genuinely want to be there. People who are drafted, people who don't want to be there, people who don't sign up are not typically going to be good recruits. But chicks in particular, there were chicks there at basic training that just, the way we described the vast majority, and I said this is not all, but the vast majority of girls that we kind of hung out with at basic training or that were in our basic training class, they had "you're not my dad" syndrome. They'll take orders from superiors, but they will not take it from people who they consider peers or people they consider beneath them. So if a girl doesn't like you or thinks that you're beneath her, it's the same thing in the dating pool too. Try to ask a girl out on a date that thinks that you are beneath her station or that she thinks that you are a loser. They will treat you with scorn. Again, the same way at basic training. They will look at you like you're not, you're not my dad. You can't tell me to do that. It's like, a drill sergeant told me to do this. I'm telling you because I am the leadership or the person who was told to disseminate this information. And they'll be like, I'll get it from them. Now, again, not all, but a majority. There was quite a few girls like that in basic training, and that's what it's going to be like when you have a bunch of draftees instead of volunteers. So, and again, I'm not bashing. The girls that made it through, they made it through. They did it. They got through basic training. Not all of them got through the same way. Some of them had to ride in cars. A lot of them, they expect 40% to get hip fractures while they're there. And I saw that. There were girls who were on the final 10-mile ruck that were riding in the van and still graduated.
Yep. That is 100% true. There were people that would just be picked up and vanned somewhere.
Yeah.
A few hundred yards in front of you when you're just weren't you just back? No, never mind.
Yeah. So it's just numbers on a spreadsheet at the end of the day kind of thing. And, I guess they probably take into account what they're going to be doing. So most of them were not going to get into combat arms. So they were just going to be admin or, truck drivers or whatever. But, they have to meet the standard in order to do the job, but I guess not. Now, the girls that did it without having the help, they did it. It was good for them.
And they have our respect.
They have our respect, yeah. There's tons of fantastic female service members currently. Like I said, they're the ones that we respect and admire are the ones that don't whine and don't complain and just do the job. They do the thankless jobs that we're required to do. So, yeah, ultimately, this is not going to be a good thing that we have to... the fact that we even have to talk about doing this is sad, but at the same time, When women want equal rights, I'm kind of at the point where I think in order to be required to vote, there should be a couple of requirements.
A couple of caveats.
Yeah, I'm almost like the Starship Troopers. Service guarantees citizenship. Service guarantees you the right to vote. I think if you're not a net positive taxpayer, I think if you're taking out of the system, if you're on welfare, your right to vote should be suspended. I'm kind of thinking maybe you should either have a family or be a property owner to have the right to vote, or an easy one for everyone. If you don't serve in the military, you should never be allowed to vote, because there are people, you vote for your representatives who therefore vote to send people to war. If you're not willing to go to war, you shouldn't have the right to vote. If you're not a service member, you're somebody who didn't join. That might be one of those things where it's like, hey, maybe you shouldn't have the right to vote.
Well, hence what we talked about on one of our last shows, that we talked about if you vote for war, you or your children need to be signed up to go.
Need to be signed up to go, yeah, for sure.
Because you're very cavalier with other people's lives being on the line for going to a war that we don't necessarily need to be in, but you're not very caveat on your own.
Yeah, you are cavalier with other men's souls.
Mm-hmm.
How noble of you. Like, I'll defend to the death this country with your kids, not mine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's interesting that I have some thoughts about it. You don't have to agree. You don't have to agree, but I do think I kind of like that Starship Trooper mentality. It's like service guarantees citizenship, and in this case, service guarantees the right to vote.
Yeah.
Said if you're not willing to throw down with the rest of the country, why do you have the right to dictate what this country's going to do?
Yeah. Are you a citizen or a civilian? What was that one? I love that one Starship Troopers meme where it's like, what's the difference between a citizen and a civilian?
A citizen takes responsibility.
Well, yes, that. But a citizen, a citizen just leaves the shopping cart. I mean, a citizen returns the shopping cart. A civilian just leaves it
yeah.
after they're done.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, but that's actually one of the foundational signalers for a good society is if people just leave the carts laying about, you have a society that's doesn't care about the social norms of your area. If you have a society or an area that doesn't care about the social norms, so putting the cart up, it's a common courtesy thing. If you live in a place where people put that cart in the cart area, you live in a good society or a good area. If you live in a place where people just leave it by the car,
the cart's discarded wherever, you're not in a good area.
Yeah. So that's interesting food for thought right there. So that's just our kind of controversial thoughts, but we're going to go through some real quick YouTube videos and some backlash to this defense bill that's going through, or this Selective Service Act for chicks. So we'll just kind of watch through and watch some ladies react to this, and it's going to be pretty funny.
I didn't mean to do that. Hang on a second. There we go. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Ladies 18 to 26, hope you're ready to get drafted. It is not just the boys.
I'm not ready right now. I just woke up, I was gonna shower and wash my hair, but let me know where it is, and if I'm feeling up for it, maybe I can meet you at the battle.
Ladies 18 to 26, hope you're ready to get drafted. It is not just the boys.
No, I can tell you right now you don't want me. Take one look at me. You think I can defend our country? I can barely defend myself in an argument. Why do women even have rights? I want to go back in time to when we had to be in the kitchen, no voting, no working, no rights. I'm fine with that. I don't want to go to war. I'll be in the kitchen making Pookie a sandwich until he gets back. I'm cool with that.
Ladies 18 to 26, hope you're ready to get drafted.
Who do you think you're talking to? We're literally all mentally ill. Disqualified. What the fuck?
Ladies 18 to 26, hope you're ready to get drafted.
I can be trusted with military-grade weapons. Let me drive the tank. Let me drive the tank. I can serve cunt and this country.
Ladies 18 to 26, hope you're ready to get drafted. It is not just the boys.
We'll be here all day if we keep watching all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much
par for the course.
Yeah, they're crazy. These girls are crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where we're at, man. Like, you just got a bunch of selfish, self-centered people. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to go to war either. But this just goes to show you the entitlement that we live in, the ridiculous nature and culture. Like, they're trying to prove how nuts they are. Like, I can't do that. I'm too crazy. Look at me. You know, like.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to we were just talking about. It's like draftees don't make great soldiers or service members. They don't, because they're like, I will do anything I can to not be here. I mean, they that is like the joke of the E4 Mafia is, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. Well, but here's the other thing too. It's basic training, like the dirt bags, the crap bags, as we call them. But yeah, the dirt bags, they will drag morale down. So if you can keep morale up, and everybody, like, even if you don't enjoy what you do, basic training, like, it's all BS. It's all standing in formation, doing this, doing that, getting yelled at, doing push-ups. It's like, if you can keep up morale, everything's going to be okay, because at least everyone's like, hey, we're accomplishing the goal. But if you have dirt bags who bring down the morale, it's easy to destroy morale. It's not easy to maintain morale. Mm-hmm. Somebody comes in and goes, I don't want to be here. This sucks. You know, it's like pretty soon they're going to have their little dirtbag cult with them being like, he's right. He's right. You know, you're going to be like, no, stay motivated. Stay positive. We got to get through this. But
they always find each other. No matter
they
what
do.
Happens, they all find each other.
Yeah, the dirtbags always find each other, man. And they will bring down morale for the entire platoon, company. They'll do whatever they can to just crush people's spirits. So, and it's not intentional. Most of the time, it's just that's just how they feel, and they're just going to be vocal about it. It's like, dude, get over yourself. You know, it's not that big of a deal. You signed up. You knew what you were getting into. And then, like, you know, or they got the ones that like, recruiter lied to me. Recruiter lied to me.
that was everyone's drill sergeant's favorite thing. Don't thank me. Thank your recruiter.
Yeah, no, don't thank me. Thank your recruiter. But yeah, you are correct. Yeah, the draftees do not make good soldiers. They drop morale, and you don't want somebody who you can't trust in combat next to you either. Now, the vast majority of jobs in the military, 80% of jobs in the Army, are non-combat roles. They're combat support roles. You're either combat or you're combat support. That's how the military looks at everything. You're either a combat MOS or you're a combat support. There's no in between. So there's a lot of jobs in the military that chicks can do. They might not want to do, but they can do. So it's just, this is how it is right now. And we have just a entitled, selfish generation of kids who would not be willing to fight. These kids don't even care about the foundation of our country. They don't care about the Declaration of Independence. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about the values that our country has, because they're all a bunch of the Marxist and communist indoctrination of our youth is so prevalent. You know, that's why TikTok is a weapon against us from the Chinese. You know, yes. The Frankfurt School's been around since the 50s. Mm-hmm. The Frankfurt School was like the first socialist Marxist school that was kind of founded here. It's a school of thought that has bled into basically every university everywhere in the world.
They train teachers.
Yes, they train teachers. They train they indoctrinate the students. Now, obviously, it's not the vast majority, but you don't need a vast majority of students to get indoctrinated by this stuff. You just need an aggressive minority and a silent majority that's just like, I don't know, I don't care. You know, it's like that you can't be all there. Like, I'm just trying to go out there, get a good job, and make money and support my wife and make my dreams come true. It's like then you have these radicals who are like, we got to have this, we got to have that. You're entitled to this, you're entitled to that. And they hate this country, and they hate the values that we uphold. They hate capitalism. They hate the free markets. They hate everything. So you got a bunch of kids who are like, yeah, this country's racist and sexist and homophobic, and there's no reason to stand up for it. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, when America falls, who's going to be standing up for those values? Definitely not going to be the socialists and the communists. They're not going to stand up for those values. So, yeah, it's nonsense, man. But yeah, this generation, we have a generation. There's always been selfish groups of people, you know, like we'll just never have that, the inspiration to join that, you know, like happened in Pearl Harbor. I guess that post 9/11.
Yeah, post 9/11 had a huge military boost.
Yeah. But it's, you know, we have to come from a place of attack. Like, we have to be hit in order for people to kind of get that that spike in patriotism and you know, like you know, you're kind of weaponizing wrath at that point, I suppose, is the best way to talk about it. They weaponize wrath. So, I don't know. It's sad, but it's a sad state of affairs that our country is in. But this is what you get. Feminism fought for this, and now feminists are, like I said, I think Bill Burr said it. There is no feminist in a house fire. There were no feminists on the Titanic. So,
it's like this isn't the first time that Congress or Senate has had a bill like this introduced.
Yeah.
And every single time it comes in, they immediately change their mind. Like all the Democratic senators support it, and then when it comes time to vote, they're like, never mind. This isn't good for my PR.
Yeah. And women are totally capable of being service members. I mean, we work with tons. There's lots of females in admin positions in the Army National Guard. There were girls in the Army that could beat me in runs. Definitely are. I'm not the strongest runner. I'm not the worst runner by any stretch of the mind, but I'm not the strongest either. There are chicks that can do stuff that, slightly better. If they train for it. We're talking like former D1 athletes. So we're talking like girls who've done stuff with their life. They were college athletes or, star athletes in high school. But there are some very physically capable women that can do stuff. And, it's not a harp on them. It's what's going to make their lives better in the long run. It's like being in the military is not going to help you with your family goals, is what we'd say. Because eventually once a girl gets to 30, they're like, I'm not going to be the last girl that has kids. They're all going to hit the wall, and they're going to wonder where their lives went. That's why I would say the military is not necessarily going to help you achieve your goals. I mean, unless you join at 18, get that college money, and that's what your goal is. Like, okay, cool. Make sure you prioritize your family. But I would say prioritize family first. Your family goals first would be my suggestion. But again, different strokes for different folks. People got to learn and live their lives and realize what mistakes they made along the way. Because you can tell a lot of people. It's like with you. Well, I tell you when you're making mistakes, and you just keep making the same ones over and over again, and it takes an act of God or just a sudden revelation on their own part to correct the behavior. So it can't be learned. I mean, you can, if smart people can watch and learn, but we have to make those mistakes too. So we'll push on to our next subject since we've kind of stayed on this a little bit longer than I thought we would. But speaking of chicks and accountability with this, we're kind of sticking with that theme of women and accountability. And we're going to stick to Star Wars. So moving on to Star Wars, sticking to the war theme and the women theme. So the creators of the new Star Wars, they are not taking the criticism of their show well. And like I said, again, this is a diverse female-led run Star Wars show. And, of course, they write it, they create it. And there's a lot of shows. I guess there's a show called The Witches or something like that. And they stole basically a lot of the themes or even the way they use the Force as the thread. Like they've changed. Episode 3 of the Acolyte has changed what the Force is. They don't call it the Force now. They call it the thread that binds us all together. And apparently Anakin Skywalker wasn't the only virgin Star Wars birth. Apparently the witches, this lesbian group of witches, created a thread that created twins, and so Anakin wasn't the first, nor was he the only Star Wars virgin birth. So,
yeah. And then the whole thing where they talked about the thread can't control or harm people, and then 2 seconds after that, and another scene, they immediately used the thread to kill somebody or harm somebody.
Yeah. It just goes to show you that the people writing the show don't understand it. They don't think critically about what they do. I mean, again, they can write something one way and then a scene later contradict the thing that they were trying to make a point about, saying the thread doesn't hurt people. I mean, okay. And then somebody dies because of the thread, and you're like, oh, well, I guess that was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess just to steel man their position, it's like maybe they don't fully understand what the Force is. But, I mean, they sure act like they do. But again, this is what happens. These chicks write this show. They do a poor job producing it. They do a poor job putting it together. And then whenever criticism comes their way, they just fire back and say, this is the fans' fault. This is not. I mean, if you have people who care enough to criticize your show, it means you have a dedicated group of loving fans that want to make something better or want to see something better. But no, They're like, this is your fault, fans. You are the problem, not us. It's the Simpsons meme. Am I out of touch? No, it's the children. The children are out of touch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, go ahead and show some of these memes, and we'll just kind of, all these memes, they made me laugh. They're on point, so.
And this is how Star Wars died. I saw a lot of people talking about this on Twitter. This is the Acolyte, right?
Come, claim your destiny.
What the thread has tied together, no one can separate. Power of one, the power of two, the power of many. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
The choir's singing it too.
What the fuck is this? This is Star Wars?
For the pure souls that don't know, yesterday Disney aired what is already one of the most hated pieces of Star Wars media, topped off only by the holiday special, featuring a
I love that
covenant
little
of
wiki
all-female
of the Star Wars
witches Force
special.
users, who then proceeded within the span of a 40 minutes episode to completely retcon the pillars of how the Force is supposed to work, and then topped off by this magical nightmare blunt rotation choreography. It's gotten so bad that now even Forbes calls it one of the most disappointing Star Wars episodes ever made.
Jesus, man. The Acolyte isn't ruining Star Wars, you are. Well, has there ever been a single instance where telling the audience that they're wrong about something causes the audience to be like, wait, what? Is it me? I'm the bad guy. Oh, no. This is how it happened. This is how...
Oh my gosh. But yeah, perfectly summarized right there, folks. I mean, when a mainstream media outlet like Forbes is bashing your show, you're in trouble. They actually rechanged. So Forbes actually changed the title to, right, it went from the worst piece of Star Wars content ever put out to one of the worst. Yeah. So Disney still has that kind of pool where a show is so bad that they can say this is the worst piece of Star Wars content we've ever seen that's ever been produced. And Disney goes, no, you can say something else. And then they actually changed it for them. A mainstream media outlet, but they still didn't change the actual summary of the article, which that's impressive.
Said money can buy you almost any. Disney's like, money can buy you almost anything. It can't buy you a good movie though, but it can have somebody change like a comment or like a title of a review.
Or yeah, the way it's phrased, Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah, that is wild. And again, that just went ahead and affirmed all the points that we were just making a minute ago. It's just so bad. You heard that. The choir, when you saw like the choir was singing "The Power of Many." like I didn't catch that when I watched it on the first time through. I was just sitting there listening to the chicks do the little witch chant. Oh, the power of one, the power of two, the power of many, and then all of a sudden you get the power of many. The power. Like I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, that's not them singing. That's the choir. That's like somebody was like there was a conductor conducting a group of people to sing that, and you're like, do you not find this absolutely ridiculous? Like,
as a choir orchestrator, you just at that point you just be like, this is my life now.
I've peaked. I've peaked. I'm singing. I'm having these people sing a song, "The Power of Many, the Power of." It's like he's sitting there going, I went to college and got a master's degree in music for this. Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, go ahead and play another one. We'll just keep going with these Star Wars memes because they're on point. They're fire.
All right, you ready?
Ready.
Everyone can be super. And when everyone's super, no one will be. Everyone can be super. And when everyone's...
But yeah, there you go again, right there. That's another great one right there. Great meme. Go ahead and read the titles for those people who are driving out, Chad.
You got it. Acolyte introduces twins born through the force of a virgin birth, ruining the uniqueness of Anakin and the Chosen One prophecy.
Yeah. It's really, really sad that a video game... Well, the video games have kind of been leading Star Wars for a while now. If you guys have ever seen... there's a video game called The Old Republic that came out, Knights of the Old Republic. fantastic video game series. Told some phenomenal Star Wars telling. The first one was a generic but really still pretty great story. You know, about where you wake up and you're playing as the villain, but you don't realize you're the villain until halfway through. It's a great story. And then the second one was a deep dive into the Force and like a critique of the Force itself from a dark Jedi character. You know, so the Knights of the Old Republic was kind of pioneering fantastic Star Wars telling in video games, and then they came out with the Old Republic. It's an online RPG MMO series, and they had some of the best storytelling, and like the trailers for that game were unbelievable. I mean,
they've made like 4 or 5 trailers for it now, and every single one of them is like a mini movie.
Yes,
and they're awesome.
Blew people away when they came out. They were just phenomenal. If you want to watch fantastic Star Wars content, watch all the trailers for. I think they're like an hour long. That's how many. Like that's its own little mini film.
Yeah.
Watch the trailers for a game called The Old Republic. Fantastic Star Wars content there. Better than anything Disney's ever produced and will ever produce.
Yep.
Better content, better storyboards for Twins, too. Like, they had an expansion pack where they had
The Eternal Empire.
The Eternal
Knights
Empire,
of the
yeah.
Eternal Empire.
Yeah, fantastic storytelling right there. And then even the continuation of the twins' younger sister that came in was a fantastic visual storytelling. Like, it was a mother-daughter relationship. Fantastic. But hardly any speaking in it, too. Like, I mean, purely visual storytelling. I think there's, like, maybe, like, in the Eternal the ones about the twins, like, there was one line of dialogue at the end where it was just like, you know, come with me.
Yeah.
Son, and you're just like, whoa, that's intense, man. Like, just fantastic storytelling. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll go ahead and push on to the next meme, and then I think that would be the last one, won't it?
Unless we're going to go over the dads at the school one. We can do that another day.
Yeah, might have time for that. Okay, but yeah, and here's the final meme right here, and it's the Joker meme, and go ahead and read it out for us, Chad.
You got it. It says here, hang on. Literally everyone. You just wasted $180 million on a flaming pile of garbage. Disney.
It's not about the money.
It's about the message.
Not about money. It's about...
I don't know what it is. Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook video does not play well. So yeah, but I mean, y'all know this meme. Y'all know this scene. I mean, it's Heath Ledger's iconic Joker role. It's not about the money. It's about sending a message.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I mean, it's so accurate. These memes are so accurate. They're so on point for what has happened to Disney Star Wars. What happens when you give untalented people positions of power, like Kathleen Kennedy, her first... I mean, we knew we were in trouble when she came out with that shirt that said the Force is female. And that was like back when The Force Awakens came out. And everybody generally liked The Force Awakens. And then The Last Jedi came out, and then we were all like, that's when I was done. I almost walked out of the theater for The Last Jedi because it was so bad. I've never walked out of a film, and I wanted to walk out of that film. And there's a couple of moments where I was like, hey, are they going to save this thing right here? And then, no, they didn't save it. Like, I was like, oh, we got some stakes, we got something happening. It's like, nope, never mind. Undid it. But yeah, we'll push on to the last subject. Actually, you know what? We might have to wrap it up here. We got 2 minutes. So.
All right. Well, then I'll hold off. We can do that one tomorrow or
yeah.
something.
We'll talk about this dad standing up against violence at school tomorrow. But yeah, that's about all we've got for you today. We ran a little bit longer than I thought we would. So when we talk about Star Wars and culture stuff, I get a little worked up because I'm passionate about it, man. I love that stuff as a kid growing up, and I really enjoy it. So. But that's all we've got for you today. This is the Twins with Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. We are signing off. God bless y'all.
See you later, everybody.